Are we muted on the stream? Okay, perfect. I'll basically just, for a few minutes here, I'm just gonna eat some snacks and stuff. Yeah, I need to bulk up for tomorrow because I'm participating in the, what's it called, Ramadan? The fast? Fasting? Yeah, that's the word. But actually kind of fun because half my class are Muslims. So we were just kind of like chatting about Ramadan and everything like that. And one of them stupidly said to me, "Oh, you should try fasting for a day." And yeah, exactly. I was like, sure. Sounds good to me. Like, I don't care. So I'm preparing my body to basically be tormented for 14 hours tomorrow. I really don't understand how they, or at least as of this moment, I don't understand how they can manage it for a month. Like, I'm dreading tomorrow. And I'm only doing it for a day. I told them, like, I was like, the thing that I'm gonna have the hardest time with is the fact that you're not allowed to drink anything as well. Not water, nothing. That's probably the part that's gonna get me, but I'm gonna give it my absolute best because I think it's a sort of a sign of respect. And it has a lot to do with understanding. Like at least me and where I've grown up, we're so accustomed to Christian traditions and beliefs, even though you might not be Christian or whatever. Like, that's the beliefs and traditions you grow up with here. So I think it's interesting to see another point of view. Perfect.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Toga Motorsport stream. We are here at the moment, although actually I think... Has the server just gone down? Server restart, please all reconnect. Wonderful, yes.
Perfect.
The server has gone down, I will be reconnecting. Anyways, we were momentarily in Zandvoort, in northern Amsterdam. No, northern in the north of the Netherlands. That's where I was going for. The north of the Netherlands.
That's a tongue twister.
It's near. In all fairness, it's not miles away from Amsterdam, but nowhere in the Netherlands is really that far from anywhere else in the Netherlands. So, but yeah, I'm joined tonight by the wonderful Ches. He's in the commentary box with me. Welcome along, Ches. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. Busy day at work, but you know, managed to get through it, trooping through as always. Just excited to see some hopefully very good racing tonight, as we normally do in these events.
Yeah, it's gonna be quite an interesting race today. Is it 2 or 3 different classes that we have?
It's 2 different classes, I think. Oh, have we got someone in a different car, possibly? No, it's just the 2 different classes. It should be the Porsche GT4 and the 992 Cup car.
Yeah, that sounds about right. But yeah, it's going to be interesting having these 2 kind of different classes of cars here on a really tight, narrow track.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you know, Zandvoort is challenging for passing at the best of times, and putting 2 classes into the mix as well is just going to make it, you know, just slightly more chaotic. Hi, Christian. Christian turning up in the Twitch chat over there. Hey mate, how are you doing? He's the representative from BRT, the Belgian racing team. One of the teams that's
no,
probably.
You mean the Brian racing team? No.
Oh yeah, sorry, my bad. The Brian racing team. Those guys very closely affiliated with Toga Motorsports over the last year or so, and they say that they've got a new driver tonight taking on the BRT badge, and his name is Troy King. Here he is. Oh dear. Currently parked at an angle and now returning to garage. Maybe I should not have panned onto him. Sorry, that's my bad. Commentator's curse and all that. But yes, welcome along everyone for what I'm sure is going to be another frantic and chaotic evening of multi-class racing here in the Porsche Sprint Challenge. Tonight we've got for you a 20-minute qualifying session followed by a... Is it then a 20-minute race? Or is it 15? I'm getting my times confused.
Let's take a look here. We have 15 minutes qualifying, followed by a 15-minute race.
Followed by another 15-minute qualifying, followed by another 15-minute race. Because that's how we roll.
Basically, yes. Basically, double the action.
Yeah, and obviously for some of these drivers it might be their first time driving these cars around this track. And, Chaz, how much time... If it was your first time driving the track right now, do you think that you'd be able to find a significant amount of time in the second qualifying session compared to the first? Or do you think that you already will have found your limit by the time you get to the end of that first qualifying session?
I mean, I never find time. But no, as long as the track conditions and the rubber stays on, you should possibly find more time in the second qualifying, because you'll have both the experience from qualifying and the experience from the race itself. So you get to know the track for the first half an hour, basically, and then the second qualifying and the second race is probably where you'll post the quicker times, I think.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think we saw a little bit of that last week when we were at Donington Park, because there was a slightly reshuffled qualifying order in that second qualifying session. I think we did see some guys who weren't as fast in the first qualifying, had a really good first race, then a really good second qualifying. Just because, you know, as you drive the car more and more, you start to just feel out a little bit more where the limit is. You get on throttle that a little bit earlier, you control the slides just a little bit more. And it becomes quite easy to kind of bond with the car more and more as you drive it, and get faster and faster as you drive it. Obviously, talking about Donington isn't really going to have any impact here, because they are two essentially polar opposites in terms of track. Donington, whilst also still quite narrow, has nowhere near as many corners as we do here at Zandvoort, and it's a lot less kind of sweeping corners at Donington. It's a lot of kind of what we call point and squirt at Donington. Lots of kind of 90-degree corners. You get the nose of the car turned in, and then you just ram it on the throttle, and off you go. Whereas here at Zandvoort, there's quite a lot of corners where you're kind of waiting, that you're kind of coasting through the corner with minimal inputs, waiting for the grip to come to you to be able to put the throttle down again. So it's going to be a very different driving experience.
Weird cambered and off camber. You have a lot of off camber. You have a lot of weird camber. You have a lot of weird apexes as well here.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a tricky track.
Yeah, and the curbs as well. A lot of the curbs here are rather deadly in any sort of GT car, in any sort of sports car, really. A lot of the curbs you can't really take too much of.
I think trucks would be okay here, curb-wise.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's one thing I'd love to see. I'd love to see an original Assetto Corsa European Truck Racing Championship here at Toga Motorsport. I think that'd be well fun.
Well,
with the full ETRC mod.
The proper trucks are in race room racing experience.
Oh, are they? I might have to have a look at that, because I do like watching the truck racing.
Yeah, it's fun. They are fun to drive. They have the function where you basically have a water reservoir that you spray on the brakes every time you brake to not basically instantly heat and overheat the brakes. So they are tricky, but they are really fun to drive.
And they're like tanks.
Maybe we should
it's
talk to
insane.
Hayden about that.
You see them, they come out at the start of the race and they're, you know, nice and pristine and they've got all their bodywork on. And then they come back and they're missing essentially everything but the wheels and the cab.
Yeah, they
from
look like
how much they crash into each other. It's crazy. They go from looking, you know, like a 17-year-old's first Volkswagen Polo to a 17-year-old's first Volkswagen Polo 30 minutes later when he's wrapped around a tree. It's really quite impressive how much damage they can take without it seemingly affecting the performance at all.
All in a 20-minute race as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we might have to get on to Hayden about that.
They kind of resemble how my truck looks in your truck after
yeah.
Ollie decides to ram me.
Yeah, after I take a, let's say, creative line through a corner.
He didn't take a line. He just refused to steer.
My line was ramming into you. I chose to take that line. You just happened to be in the way.
I'm fully aware.
How unfortunate.
Sucks to be me, I guess.
So yeah, here we go. We're into the last 2 minutes of practice already, and it's looking like Regatti at the front is. Oh, I was about to say running away with it, but then Arcadio Trevino put himself just half a tenth behind Regatti in that number 51 992 GT3 Cup car. Obviously, the big difference between the 992 Cup cars and the 992 GT3 cars is that the 992 Cup cars don't have ABS or traction control, which makes them death machines. And they don't have anywhere near as much aero, as you'll notice, because there's no massive diffuser sticking out the back of this car that we're currently watching. There is one there, but it's not anywhere near as pronounced as the 992 GT3 cars is. And the front aero is nowhere near as sophisticated either. You haven't got those wells in the bonnet to scoop air down towards the brakes and the undercarriage, and you haven't got such a massive splitter. There is still a splitter there, but again, nowhere near as aggressive as on the 992 GT3 car. So essentially, you're running pretty much the exact. I think they only run about 50 horsepower less than the GT3, the proper GT3 works car, but they have far less aero and no traction control to mess around with for how they put down that roughly 600 horsepower if the number I'm thinking of is correct.
So basically, it's a GT3 cars for people with a death wish.
Yeah, essentially. Wow, Arcadio Trevino drives into the back of a GT4 car at turn 1. May well get a penalty for that before the race gets started.
Yeah. We have live stewarding today, right?
We do have live stewarding, yes, absolutely. I'll try and work out who it is. It looks like it's Dexter. Oh, there's a load of them. Dexter, Daryl, Chris, and Charlie.
Chris? You mean Craig?
Craig, yes. Why do I keep calling him Chris, man? His name's not Chris. I keep on doing this, it's really bad. So yeah, welcome again to everyone on both platforms tonight. If you're watching on YouTube, please remember to hit that like button. It does massive good for our channel. Just, you know, nudges the YouTube algorithm a little bit, wakes it up, says, you know, people like these guys, and we get recommended a little bit more to those interested in the sim racing world.
Funny enough, I had absolutely zero experience commentating races before I started doing this here at Toga, and I think if it was... No, it wasn't last night. No, because last night I was supposed to race, but I didn't. But it must have been Sunday. I streamed basically all on my own. I commentated all on my own. Yeah, it was
for the Driver Swap Cup, yeah.
And from what I've heard, the numbers were apparently great.
Maybe we need to let you talk more. You have got quite a soft, relaxing voice, you know.
Thank you. You just wait until I'm screaming at the top of my lungs at other cars when I'm actually on track.
Here we go, we are getting going now with the first 15-minute qualifying session. As always, very exciting. We get to see all the cars out on... sorry, not all the cars out on track, that's a complete lie. We get to see the GT4s first out on track. Let me pan down to one of the wonderful GT4 cars that's coming out on track. Here we go. I always forget that I need to do.
But there is at least one cup car out on track right now, car 24, but he has just about pulled off.
Yeah, I was about to say he'd better return to the garage, because otherwise he's going to get slapped with a rather hefty penalty from what I remember.
Yeah, I think he noticed his own mistake and just... Yeah, I think he just realized his own mistake and basically rectified it. There are cars all over the entire pit area here. They are in very weird formations here, it seems like.
Yeah, I think it's another one of those situations where we don't particularly have enough I think it's another one of those situations where we don't particularly have enough
pit stalls?
Enough pit boxes for the amount of cars. So we have some cars that are doubling up.
Oh no, I think they're just trying to basically sit on the they're trying to sit on the exit of the pit lane here to try to get out as fast as possible to basically be the first Porsche Cup car out on track whenever they actually are allowed to.
So we are on board with the first, well, not on board, but we are watching, I guess, watching over the first car that got out on track. The number 626 machine of Macy, just coming round the final corner now, which I don't think is banked still. I'm not sure whether that's going to be updated at any point. But here comes the 626.
From my understanding, it will never be updated. It's the same as the many different changes they've done to Spa. Most likely will never be updated.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
Yeah. So Lucas Hanak in the 777 car, who was just in the YouTube chat, has gone fastest at the moment. P1 by almost a second ahead of Ari Fastel in the number 7 car. Then it's Elias Fernando in the 233 car. Then, who's that? Dan Berg in the number 88 car. That's an unfamiliar name. Not sure if he was here last week, but nice to see new faces at Toga Motorsport. Then we got Christoph in the number 81 car, currently P6. Then Kroipus and Hayden Sweet rounds out the current GT4 field. I think that is all the GT4s we've got tonight, actually, just the 9 of them. Look at the pit lane.
There was 11, I think.
Look at all of these GT3 Cup cars. They've all pulled up.
Yep.
Look at them. They've pulled up, getting ready to leave the pit lane. They really want to get out there and get going. That's insane. Lucas Hanak not finding time at the moment. Elias Fernando is just coming up just through actually the midway point of the lap in terms of time. Finding currently almost half a second, loses out on the exit of that. Oh no, actually he's gained through that corner. It'll be interesting to see final 2 corners now. Nailing the first one is important for the second one as well. Andrea Ziliani, welcome to the chat. Push, 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 Mafio. I'm assuming
Fernando
that's...
coming through the last corner here now.
Lars Fernando goes across the line and goes second at the moment ahead of Very Fastel. I'm assuming Mafio is Mafioletti, the 992 Cup driver, who will be coming out to do qualifying before too much longer. In fact, it can't be long until the GT4s have their "this is your last lap" orders.
1 minute, I think.
So no one finding enough time as it stands to rival the leader. Elias Fernando, though, is another 3/10 up, but Lucas Hanak is also 2/10 up at the moment, which would just move him almost 3, which would just move him out of reach. Lucas Hanak is, I tell you what, absolutely nailing it in these GT4 cars at the moment. It's quite impressive how much pace he's got in these cars.
Maybe the lower power and lower downforce is just the type of racing that fits him more.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, there are drivers who find it far easier to drive these kind of low downforce type of cars. Elias Fernando goes back to the pit lane. He had invalidated what was going to be his last lap. Lucas Hanak almost invalidates what will be his last lap. But coming to the line, he might be able to salvage some time. It's not going to be loads, but he will move himself slightly further ahead. Just ahead. Just more, sorry, than 9/10 ahead of Elias Fernando. But no one else is now going to be able to start a lap. That's going to be it. These guys are going to have to pull over and go back to the pit lane, because the Cup cars are surely going to be allowed out the pit lane anytime now. 15-minute qualifying session. They're allowed out with 7 minutes 30 seconds to go, right? Yeah, and here we go. They're all coming out onto the track. Have the GT4s not received their orders to return to the pit lane? Because Christoph is still out on track and is going to be caught by some of these Cup cars, I think.
A message has been sent with the following message. GT4s finish your laps, Pork Cups your go.
So when was that?
So
when was that sent? Because if they managed to just sneak across the line before it, then they are allowed to finish their laps. Technically.
I think that is basically what has happened. As Shoulders returned to pit, basically we have Fasttail and Ristov of the GT4 cars left on track here.
Yeah, Eri Fasttail not making much time though. The 81 car, however, kind of was. Got the line wrong there. I bottled at least 3 laps, says Kieran Macy. That's unfortunate, mate. Hopefully the race pace will be better for you, and then you've got another qualifying session anyways. So shouldn't be too much of an issue with the double race.
Ristov is back up on his time here.
Yeah, he is. I think he's lost it all on the exit there. Yeah, just overshot it into that corner a bit.
In action.
Let's have a look, see what he can do through here. He's going to have to hope that he doesn't get hampered by this Porsche Cup car behind him. I don't think he will, but he is going to have to pull over pretty quickly. No, he's not. He's coming to the pit lane. Oh, lap was invalid.
That is an interesting decision.
Lap had invalidated.
Oh.
Literally out of that final corner, he just ran slightly wide. Good evening, says Marco. Just joined the live. What happened until now? So we've just gotten to the end of GT4 qualifying, where Lucas Hanak has gone on to pole position. The rest of the field, I'll quickly run you down, is Elias Fernando in the 233 car, then Eri Fasttail in the number 7 car, then Dan Berg in the number 88 car, followed by Christoph in the 81 car. Then we got Kieran Macy in the 626 car, also in P6. That lines up, I quite like that. Tony Shoulders in the 176 car is in P7, with Kroipos in the 394 car in P8, and Hayden Sweet, the man, the myth, the legend himself, lines up P9 and last of the GT4s. However, I did an awesome racing sync literally 5 minutes before I started this stream. If the liveries aren't showing up, then it's something with their side, not with me, because definitely... No, yeah, you're right. Your car's completely blank. But I definitely did a sync. Literally no more than 5 minutes before the stream started. So if they're not showing up, I'm not sure why that is.
That is an issue that I've had with a few of my streams now as well. It seems as though, even though you may have uploaded your livery correctly, sometimes Awesome Sim Racing just doesn't pick it up. It seems like it shows that it's in a collection. It shows that it's being downloaded and installed, but nothing happens with it.
So here we go. Stephen Faze is about to be the first man to cross a line in the Cup cars. He's going to go to the top. Currently 4 seconds clear of the GT4 times. I expect we'll see faster times than that coming in though. Let's have a look. The number 13 car of Tommaso Bocci immediately goes P1 with Eric Berg just behind him, 0.6 of a second. Stephen Faze from BRT is still in it though in P3 as Samuel Braxton now goes P2, 0.4 off of Tommaso Bocci, who spun it round at turn 1 and I think is possibly now struggling to get it back on track. Here he goes now, he's found a gap. But that could cost him because that would have grained his tyres, that spin. That's not going to be fun driving on those, I don't expect. As Arcadio Trevino goes fastest by just 0.013 of a second, 13 thousandths of a second. He goes to the top of the timing tables in the SRP Racing Team colours. Daniele Maffioletti goes P3, just 0.5 tenth off of Trevino at the front. And that is a whole host of Italian names, I would assume, at the front of the grid at the moment.
Trevino, Bocci, Maffioletti,
and Regatti. Regatti now goes P1. Gianluca Regatti by 0.7 of a second. Holy moly. That is fast. Fast. Let's go Maffio, says Marco24 F1. Push. Indeed he is, man. Maffioletti having a nice little qualifying session here. Currently 0.4 up. It'll be interesting to see what he can extract from the car now that those tyres are warmed up, because it does make a big difference. Very deep there. Sorry, commentators curse. I need to stop saying words.
Callum Jones and George Stevens are the only 2 cars yet to set a lap.
Yeah, Callum Jones is coming to the line now, isn't he?
He is.
It'll be interesting to see what he can do in that car, because he is quick.
Straight up in P2.
Yeah, straight up to P2, absolutely. That doesn't surprise me at all. 0.2 off of the leading car at the moment. However, Regatti is currently just over 0.2 up himself. Samuel Braxton also up at the moment, but not really enough to make any meaningful impact, especially seeing that it's still the first sector of the lap. However, Gianluca Regatti is 2.5 up. It was 3 just before coming out of the hairpin at the bottom of the back straight. Now it's back up to 0.3 again through the final corner. Not quite flat. At least he didn't quite have the confidence to. It's going to be very close to being 0.3 up, and he's going to be the first man. Oh, he almost goes into the 37s there, 38.2. It wouldn't surprise me if we maybe hit 37s later on. Samuel Braxton now 0.6 of a second up. This could be big. This is going to challenge not just for P2, but if he can find a little bit more time in this final sector, he could very well be on the money for a challenge for P1 here. Losing a little bit of time through that chicane into hairpin section at the bottom of the back straight. Now needs a really solid run through this final corner, set himself up nicely, which he does, sets himself up very nicely. It's going to be 0.5 gained. Callum Jones put himself back to... Sorry, Eric Berg momentarily snuck ahead of Samuel Braxton, but Samuel Braxton now goes P2. Just over 0.3 of a second behind Gianluca Regatti, who was improving, but he's had contact, Gianluca Regatti. He's had contact with, that looks like the... I'm not even sure what car that was, but that's his qualifying over, so he's now going to have to improve. He's now going to have to hope that those behind him don't improve enough to take any positions away from him. Daniele Maffioletti.
Right into the 919 car of Baukamp.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to see it. Eric Berg is improving by about 0.3 of a second, which at the moment would take him to P2, P3, sorry. If he could find any more, he could well find his way onto the front row, which at the moment he is finding that a little bit more, although it might just be because he carried a little bit too much speed into the corner leading onto the back straight. Which is turn 11. Here we go. Now I've worked out where the numbers are. It's 0.2 up at the moment. He needs a little bit more than that to take P3.
Tommaso Bocchi had a bit of an issue. He spun around and he's back into the pits now.
Oh, he's not quite going to get P3, sorry. It's going to be very, very close though. It is very close at the end. But the man that the eyes are now on is Arcadio Trevino, who did lead this qualifying session at the very, very start. And is now 0.3 up, which would find him to P5 if he can find any more through these final two corners. Could well find him slightly further up the grid again. It's 0.4 up now. It's going to be almost 4.5. I don't think it's going to be enough for P4. It's not quite. It's very close. That battle for the final podium position is going to be interesting. Very, very, very interesting. So, just to run you down the overall order, we've got Regatti in P1, followed by Samuel Braxton in the number 75 car, then Callum Jones rounding out the top three. Then we've got the guys that are really close to each other. Eric Berg and Arcadio Trevino just behind Callum Jones. Those guys covered by 0.045 of a second. That's going to be interesting. Then we've got Daniele Maffioletti in the number 21 car, followed by Tommaso Bocchi in the number 13 machine. Then we've got Stephen Fays from the Belgium Racing Team crew in P8, followed by Lysis in the number 24 car in P9. Rounding out the top 10 is, wow, Petruzella? I'm going to go with that. I think that was close enough. In the number 55 car. Then Andanegui in the number 17, followed by Troy King in the number 718 car. Syracusa in the number 45 in P13 with Brian Ritz in the number 6 Porsche. I don't know why I'm specifying it's a Porsche. I keep on doing this. They're all Porsches. In P14, followed by George Stevens, one of our very own, in P15. Then Baukamp P16. That rounds out the 992 Cup cars. Then you all know the GT4 qualifying order, and my mouth and my brain is starting to give up from saying so many names.
Baukamp has been given a 5-second penalty.
Indeed he has. That's interesting. I wonder what that might be for.
That is... Oh, the message is on its way. We're sitting here anticipating. Could it potentially be for the collision that he had with one of the other cars where Baukamp basically spun around?
The contact with the who was it? It was one of these. It was like a bright yellow car.
Car 51 Regatti, I think.
Oh yeah, the pole sitter.
Yeah.
Oh right, so they've ruled that as Baukamp's fault. That's interesting.
Probably, if this penalty is for what we think it is, then yes.
Dexter furiously typing.
As he is every single day, basically.
Here we go, counting down. I think chances of overtaking here are very low. Let's hope for some action. Yeah, there's a possibility. You know, Zandvoort isn't best known for its overtaking opportunities, but this long old front straight should give us a couple of chances at least. Coming up to 30 seconds until we get rolling here. However, we do have the formation lap to roll before we get going under green flag racing conditions, so it may take just a short while.
Yeah, not holding the brakes was the 5-second penalty given for.
So I'm assuming that means
it wasn't that incident.
Oh, it wasn't that incident?
Yes, the 919 spun around and made
On its own,
contact with
yeah.
car 51.
Then
so
didn't hold the
probably,
brakes
most
and
likely, it
made
didn't hold his
contact.
brakes.
Yeah, that's interesting. Obviously a big
Our
no-no.
bold prediction, Marco. The winner will be the guy that finishes first.
Will Buxton.
And basically the rest of the podium consists of the guy that finishes right behind the winner, and then the guy behind him as well. That is my bold Buxton type.
My bold prediction is that we won't get a red flag in race 1, but we will get a red flag in race 2.
I second that, actually.
I think race 1 people will be a little bit sensible, and then race 2 people are going to be like, I want to score some points now, and just go for
basically.
it. Yeah, actually, that's a good point. I haven't told you guys about the red flag procedure. If you're new here at Toga Motorsports, I'm sure you'll be delighted to hear that we run a red flag procedure for if people decide that they don't want to survive turn 1. And how it works is if more than 20% of the grid of cars is involved in a crash at the same time through the first and or second sector, then we throw a red flag, the message gets put out in the game chat, red flag, red flag, red flag, everyone returns to the garage, and we do this whole thing again. We do the formation lap again, we do the wait time again. It feels like it takes a little while, it does take a little while, but overall it's for the good of everyone. We only get one red flag opportunity per race, so the maximum red flags we'll get tonight is 2 minutes, which will add like... the maximum amount of red flags we'll get tonight is 2, which will only add like 10 minutes onto the total stream time, so it really doesn't take long.
So, basically, as a worst case scenario, we can have 4 race starts in a 2 race session.
Yeah. Pretty much.
I'm just mathing over here.
Yeah, man. I mean, 2 times 2 equals 4. That's some crazy level maths you've just done right there.
I know. And
That
somehow
is,
I flunked math. Don't know how.
Who knows, man.
Yeah.
Mystic things. Anyway.
Could be because I said that 2 plus 2 equals 5 like 10 times to my teacher.
That might be it, you know. Right, so what I'm going to do is
probably.
I'm going to keep my eyes on the front of the field here, the front of this 992 GT3 Cup field. And then what my glorious assistant Ches will do is keep his eye on the back of the field where all the chaos is most likely to happen.
I'll keep an eye on Lucas Hanek here.
We love chaos.
We do. We absolutely adore it. We're here for it. I'm not 100% sure the stewards agree with that.
No, I think they want
issue.
far less incidents than there were. The stewarding team really
Yesterday?
worked their socks off over the last 7 days. I expect they'd quite like a break. But here we go. Coming around the final corner now, everyone's going to be going at roughly 70 kilometers an hour, and ideally in their grid slots. Chaos loves the mess. Yeah, pretty much, Julius. Pretty much. So here we go. Coming up to... That one's not the start line, that's the pit commitment line and the timing line. That one's the green light. Here we go. Green flag is in the air. Callum Jones has got clear space to the left of him, which he'll be happy about into turn 1. And it looks like everyone is being muy sensible into turn 1.
We have 1 car off track, but he is back on track, it seems like, and no...
Yeah, it looks like everyone's kept it
contacts.
sensible. Samuel Braxton's gotten ahead of Gianluca Regatti. Coming through. Oh, Stephen Faze's round. Contact coming towards turn 4 even, that is. And the 96 car drops down to the back of the grid. Yeah, he's just got to wait for the whole field to filter past before he can get going again. But here we go. Samuel Braxton is in the lead.
There's quite a big chance that you'll also just Austin Powers yourself. Trying to get around it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Pull a 654 point turn. And Hayden Sweet has had an issue as well, coming into the dipper there through turns. That would be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and technically 9. Technically, he's got 2 apexes. So yeah, Hayden Sweet down to the back of the GT4 field after he'd made a couple of positions early on, and Gianluca Regatti has gotten past Samuel Braxton again, coming down that back straight. Top 4, 5, 6. Covered by relatively small amounts of time at the moment. Then there's a little bit of a gap back to P7. Oh, we got another one around. Cesare Pizzarella had an issue there. Pizzarella, sorry. But Gianluca Regatti just keeping
it seems
it
like he
clean at the
just
front at the
outbraked
moment.
himself. Pizzarella.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Oh, Samuel Braxton, that was immensely close to the rear bumper of Gianluca Regatti there, through on the entry into turn 1.
So one of my biggest personal flexes is that I have seen these cars live. And I can tell you guys that the racing is just as fun in real life as it is here.
I've got to admit, that is pretty cool. These cars are proper fun to watch live, even just on a stream. They are proper fun to watch live.
I remember when the Porsche Cup was one of the what's it called? One of the extra events at the Formula 1 weekends.
Support series. Yeah.
Exactly. Thank you.
That was fun when they used to do the Porsche Cup support series.
Yeah, but I remember one particular round at Notorious Monaco.
Oh, I think I know the round that you're talking about.
One of the I think Ayan Guven in one of the beautiful pink BWT cars lost his entire door.
Yes, I thought that might be the race you were talking about.
Yeah.
There's been some spectacular Porsche Cup moments at Monaco, including and not limited to the entire field having to stop on the run up the hill after turn 1 because someone got spun round sideways and literally wedged between the walls.
Yeah, I remember that as well.
Numerous cars that decided that the hotel chicane was optional. Can I show the gaps between the cars? Yes. There we go.
Can temporarily also bring up the timing page in race control.
That's the one we've got. These gaps are updated every lap. I can keep you updated as to what the live gaps are though, as Callum Jones makes a move on Samuel Braxton there up to P2, and this top P2 to P6 still only covered by just under 2 seconds. So this is going to be the battle to keep our eyes on.
Steven Face seems to have gone off track. He's down in P20, surrounded by GT4
He
cars
was off.
here.
He was off at the start. Stephen Face. He was the guy off at turn 4 on the very first lap. So he's just going to have to work his way back through. But these GT4 cars are not obligated to get out of his way because they are racing for position. So they can sit on the line. They don't have to get out of his way at all. It would only be if he was lapping them that they would need to move. And look at that, just opening the taps on the Porsche Cup car. 600 and just a shade under 600 horsepower versus the, I think, 400 that the GT4 cars have. Quite a noticeable difference.
Something along those lines.
Alongside another GT4 car, yeah,
difference.
just pulling up alongside them, moving, just dispatching of them very, very smoothly and quickly here. As Callum Jones is just opening a gap to Samuel Braxton here. It's almost a second now, at which point Samuel Braxton would lose the benefit of the slipstream. Yeah, Callum Jones just opening the taps a bit. Was 1.3 seconds faster last lap compared to Samuel Braxton. And you know, Callum Jones is a smart guy. He knows when to go for moves. He knows when to back out. He's a very heads-up racer, so he wouldn't have made that move if he wasn't confident that he could get ahead and stay ahead of Samuel Braxton, which at the moment he's proving to be very capable of doing, as Eric Berg has just dropped off the back of Samuel Braxton. Samuel Braxton's round on the power. He's gone round without the aid of the TC. He's gone round, has dropped down to P6. He's going to lose P7, down to P8 now. Going to be P9 before the back straight chicane, and that promotes Eric Berg up to P3. That is big for Samuel Braxton in his championship fight.
Yeah, he just caught a bit of grass under his steering in one on the exit of one of the corners and just spun around, trying to keep the car going straight on throttle.
Yeah, really unfortunate. It's an easy thing to do as well, you know. These cars without traction control are so easy to just drop the rear end. But it does mean that the podium battle is now covered by 0.6 of a second across 3 cars that last time out ran lap times separated by less than 0.3 of a second.
So Julius expressed interest in 60 to 90 minute races instead of 2 sprint races. It's something that we can take up with the big man himself.
Brian Ritz there got in the wall coming through turn 2 and 3. He's got a lot of damage on the front end of that car right now. Does not look happy at all, the number 6 Porsche.
Just about to be overtaken here by Stevens any second now.
Here we go, that was the halfway mark. We are halfway through the first of the 2 races here, and for anyone that was worried that we weren't going to get any action from these cars around here, well, I hate to break it to you, but you were wrong.
These shorter races here are really blink and you miss it moments.
Yeah, absolutely. These 15-minute races really do disappear.
You say to yourself, oh, I'm just gonna do a quick toilet run, and then all of a sudden there's 2 minutes left of race 2.
Tommaso Bocci and Lysis having a really good battle here at the moment. Lysis just managing to keep ahead of Bocci around the outside at the bottom hairpin, at the bottom of the back straight there. That is quite impressive.
Car 919, the car that has a 5-second penalty, has been given a warning for, and I quote, poor driving standards on the second lap of the race.
Marco says that he's glad he was wrong about the track action. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, looking at these guys currently, Eric Berg, Adacio Trevino and Daniele Maffioletti, these guys...
I have a car off.
Oh, who is it?
The car seems to have just disappeared.
George Stevens.
Probably Stephen Face.
George Stephen and Brian Ritz have gotten together. The number 96 car, no, he's still there. But Siracusa, George Stevens and Brian Ritz, I think, got together because they've both been passed by Gaetano Siracusa.
Could well be.
And Samuel Braxton gets past Andanegui as well, looking to climb back up onto the podium. But yeah, what I was going to say, Berg, Trevino and Daniele Maffioletti last time out, these guys running all with their eyes on that podium position that Eric Berg currently has under his control. Last time out, run lap times separated by just 0.17 of a second. So these guys are almost identical on pace right now.
Haneke's almost running away with the GT4 category here. He has a 3-second gap down to Kieran Macy.
Yeah, and Kieran Macy running a far better race than what his qualifying suggested, which I'm sure he'll be very happy about, because he was worried after that qualifying performance that he wasn't going to have the best of races, but he's managed to more than make up for it so far. We are going to keep our eyes on this track action here, although we do have another fight possibly further down. As Samuel Braxton and Andanegui go round, there was contact there. There was contact. I don't want to watch the replay because I'm worried I'm going to miss something for the podium. But something happened there, and Samuel Braxton having to just sit on the exit turn 1, wait for these cars to come past, and he's now tumbled all the way down to P14.
Braxton almost been in contact with another car, went almost out into the gravel in T1, and tried to get on the throttle again and spun the car into the oncoming path of another driver.
Oh, and Sandy Slacis
has gone around as well. Oh wow, yeah. I think these tricky corners and the lack of any sort of traction control really causes a bit of chaos here for the drivers, as we have a 10-second penalty for car 24 for leaving the track and gaining an advantage, and also a push to pass. All of this on lap 5.
So is that maybe how we got past Tommaso Bocci?
Could well be that, yeah.
So again, the battle for the podiums. Last time, Trevino was 2/10 faster than Eric Berg, and Daniele Maffioletti had dropped off the back of this train now. He was 5/10 slower than Trevino last lap.
Hanak really running away with the GT4 here. He has almost 5 seconds down to Kieran Macy now. And Macy himself is doing a great job, as Dan Berg seems to have gone off, as we have a yellow flag for the GT2 car, or GT4 cars, I mean, sorry. Let's see what happened to him here.
Yeah, down at the chicane at the end of the back straight by the looks of things. Stephen Faze has come round again as well.
Braking.
Oh, he's come back across track and hit someone. That's Lysis, the number 24 car. He's come back across track and hit. And Stephen Faze automatically just immediately returns to the garage. I think that's his race run for today.
Yeah, that is a major incident here. And something that stewards will not be looking forward towards checking out, as Hayden is now in the pits. I wonder if he's retiring the car or if he's simply just...
Possibly just
he
fixing
must be
some
retiring
damage.
the car.
Either that or yeah,
left
he's
of
just
the race.
decided that it's not the race for him.
It's a tricky
Oh, no.
track here. Oh, is he back? Oh, wow.
Maybe he
Wonder
just
if
didn't have
just
enough fuel.
underfueled.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me, knowing our wonderful Hayden. That wouldn't surprise me at
There's
all.
always going to be something when it comes to him.
So we are going to get one more lap after this, which is interesting. It'll be interesting to see how many people fueled for another lap after this, and how many people are maybe stuck now that we've had this extra lap come along.
As I think Rigetti is closing in on the Creopus, and this will potentially, if he can manage
two separate
to
yellow
get it
flag
done.
incidents. Troy King
Oh wow!
and George Stevens. George Stevens has gone around on the exit turn 4, bumps it into the Armco barriers on the exit of turn 4, now reverses back across track. That's a lot of damage at the front of that Porsche. Oh, that's going to be a poor rejoin. Oh, actually, he didn't even cross the middle of the track, so that's fine, whatever. Who's... what's happening here? No, Gianluca Regatti is first. Why is my ACC race control showing him as second when he literally can't be? He has to be first.
Yeah, it's fixed now. I think it was a timing issue.
Yeah, the wonderful ever buggy Kunos moment.
Oh no, the wonderful Everbuggy ACC race control being open, free software for anybody to use.
Yeah, actually.
Developed by probably just a guy in a basement somewhere, knowing the sim racing community.
Almost definitely, yeah. Ouch. Wow. For anyone interested in Bullfoot, Liverpool currently playing Sparta Prague. And, well, it's been 14 minutes, and they currently lead 4-0.
Certified Liverpool moment.
That is out.
I mean, so they're looking at a 9-1 lead here for Liverpool, actually. On the aggregate. I'm gonna have to probably put this match up in the background. Because, Jesus, that is an interesting one. But yeah, 9-1 in total for Liverpool is crazy.
We are on the final lap. Trevino is just 3/10 behind Eric Berg. He's not going to be close enough to make anything happen. But Daniele Maffioletti, sorry, not Davide. That's my guy, not this guy. Has closed in again. But the final lap means that I don't think we're going to get any opportunities for these guys. Leader has finished the race. Regatti takes the checker flag. So does Callum Jones. Then it's going to be Eric Berg. Then
Arcadio Trevino, then Daniele Maffioletti, then it's going to be Troy King in P6 possibly, and Denegui just behind him. This could be a run to the line for these guys.
Just a quick thing about the Liverpool game. I know we're getting off track here, but I also know there's a lot of football interested guys here. The replay for the first goal wasn't even done showing before they scored the second goal.
Yeah, Hey, Davide is in the chat. Today he's a silent
Davide!
spectator. No, come and say words. We enjoyed chatting with you. Anyway, Brian Ritz finishes P11 with Lysis in P12. Then it's Baukamp in P13. Then it'll be Luca Hanak to round out the first of the GT4 cars as George Stevens has gone for another spin. I don't even know where that is. Oh, no, he's pulled over. George Stevens, I think, out of fuel. Luca Hanak crosses the line and wins the GT4 car class by what's going to be, I think, 8 seconds when all is said and done here. Airy Fastel comes home just 2/10 off the back of P2, Kieran Macy. Then we've got Christoph, then it's Tony Shoulders. Then it'll be Elias Fernando just 6/10 behind him for what is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, P6 in the GT4 class. Then it's Dan Berg for P7 in the GT4s. Then Kroipos for P8 in the GT4s. And then George Stevens, who I think is definitely out of fuel. And 2 cars that didn't make it to the end of the race. That's a lie. Hayden Sweet has taken the checkered flag. Stephen Faze has not. But George Stevens is currently just... And now we restart for what is going to be another qualifying session in just a minute. Another 15-minute qualifying
Now we
session.
do it all again.
Whoa. That's the way, I like it,
And that's the way you get a copy strike.
It's fine, I was singing it for, it was being used purely for entertainment purposes under the copyright laws, section something and doodah.
Yeah, and stuff.
So it's fine. It's fine.
I was gonna say, Davide, don't study, spend time with us. But then I realized I'm also a student, so I should probably not be saying stuff like that. But I'm glad we can keep you company while you study.
I think we're about to get going for another quali session, maybe?
No, a few minutes practice. 3 minutes free practice first. Probably just so everybody can make sure everything works.
Just waiting now.
Car 24.
Ouch, picked up a 10-second penalty already from an incident in race 1 before race 2 has even started. However, overall, very, very clean from the looks of things. Bring on round 2, please, come on, I wanna... Please. How long is it taking to restart the server, man?
We're not even restarting, we're just forwarding.
Who are we waiting on? Is there someone that's like not properly returned to garage?
Seems like there are 4 cars that have not been given the checkered flag yet.
I've got 2. I've got
Nice.
George Stevens that hasn't got the checkered flag, and Stephen Faze.
I have PORSCHE and faster as well.
Not on my live timing, I don't.
I'm in the menu.
Oh, fair.
I will be back. I'm just gonna have a quick word with the stewards.
Yeah, no worries. Oh, it happened. I hope everyone in the YouTube and the Twitch streams could see this. Hayden saying, "Who set this server up?" And someone responding with "You." Oh man, that's one of the funniest things I've seen recently. Thank you to whoever put that. That's hilarious. Ah, whoever that was, you are getting my 5p. Because that was hilarious to read. So funny. Oh, that's good.
Bear with us, caller. We are just experiencing some issues with certain things. I don't know what.
I wonder what we might be. I wonder what we might be having problems with. Surely it's not the. Surely it's not the setup of the servers that that
I don't
you
know why,
yourself
just-
are responsible for.
The same as last week. Nothing's changed. So
No,
I don't know
I
what's,
So I have 4 cars that have not been given the checkered flag. I wonder if there's something that has been glitched up.
could be. I don't know what. I don't know why. Because if I
No,
do
Lucas
slash,
Hanek is falling asleep apparently.
if I forward to the next session,
Oh,
Woo! Things happened. No, we're still
yeah,
in the
nothing
race.
changes.
yeah, because there's still people in the session.
Yeah, there's people that haven't like. Do we need them to return to garage instead of just being sat in the pits?
Yeah, PORSCHE and Foster, like I cannot even press on them, but they still show up on the list. So I don't think they're in the server anymore.
I'll give it a second or so, and then I'll restart the server and just remove.
Yeah, we could just run race qualifying 1 again and just put everything together. We are smart people here.
Right, server restart. Server restart. Right, I'll do a server restart, guys. Alright, and that should
no
fix it.
worries.
And I'll just remove. I'll put just 3 minutes of practice, and then the race, and then we'll go from there.
Wonderful.
Someone's glitched out for sure, haven't they?
I think someone might have
Yep.
disconnected after the end of the race, and it might have messed with the.
Entry list.
Yeah.
There we go.
I mean, it would be the most normal ACC bug that you can find, is that something just screws
Yeah.
with the entry list.
Right, enjoy it. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Wow, you're late. Yeah, yeah, David. In reality, Hayden is just setting him up for pole in race 2. Yeah, definitely. That's the stuff that we're not allowed to talk about. We've told you. You know the trade secrets, but you can't share them with
So
everybody.
anyways, now that everything has gone perfectly smoothly and there have been no issues at all, we are ready to go. Everything has been perfect. Don't question it, chat. Everything has been perfect.
Yeah, I
And we
haven't
are
had any
having
issues.
fun.
Oh, that we are, however.
Oh, blimmin' it reset my blimmin'. I had it set up right. There we go. Everyone blame Hayden. Yes, I'm here for that. Whoever put that in the chat. That's what we normally do, anyway.
I don't think anybody's said that in any of the chats. Just you trying to have people say that? Or...
Not too sure why people are leaving the pit lane when there's only just enough time to get around to start a lap, let alone finish one.
Just making sure the gear work, maybe?
Tiddly Osprey, that is Sam Braxton saying he's definitely got some setup changes to do. Interesting, interesting. Here we go. And Troy King already pulling up at the exit of pit lane, and the GT4 cars have only just started leaving. Anyways, who's the first car out of the pits? It's the 777 car of Lucas Hanak. He's the first car out of the pits. Let's have a look what he can do as we get a flyby. That was fun. Here we go, Lucas Hanak rounding the final corner now to start what will be his first flying lap of the session. And let's have a look and see what he can do. As Ches is randomly spamming his shifters.
No, that is my keyboard.
Oh right, he's typing, okay, that's fair.
But I do actually spam click my shifters when I'm bored in the pits.
Yeah, so do I.
Okay, I'm normal then. Somewhat normal.
Indeed.
Hey, Sparta Prague have scored. It's now 4-1, which is slightly better.
Oh, wow.
Not
I
loads
mean,
better.
still 9-2 in totals. So.
However, Liverpool have started essentially messing around. So far, Darwin Núñez has tried no less than 3 bicycle kicks in the last 15 minutes.
Basically, what Liverpool is doing now is normally what I do when I play FIFA.
Yeah. Here we go. Lucas Hanek is going to cross the line. And it's a 44.5. Christoph goes straight away to P2, 9/10 off the back at the moment. Who's going to be next across the line that's actually on a lap? It's going to be the 233 car of Elias Fernando. Indeed it is, 8/10 off the back of Lucas Hanek at the moment. Number 29 car is up next, that's Hayden Sweet. Oh man, I got the hiccups. Goes 2 seconds behind at the moment. The 88 car is going to cross the line, that's Dan Berg. He goes 2.7 seconds off the back at the moment. And then 176 car crosses the line, that's Tony Shoulders. And goes to P5, 2.5 seconds off the pole time at the moment. No one else setting a lap time yet in the GT4 cars. Although Lucas Hanek isn't far off and he's 5/10 up. Losing a little bit out the final corner. But he still goes 1.2 seconds clear at the top of the field. And is now returning to garage. He feels that that's enough, I would assume. Because he won't get out to start another lap. But we do still have other cars left to come. Christoph has returned to garage already. But there are still cars that haven't got a lap time in. Airy Fasttail is currently on a lap. And then we've also got Elias Fernando. He'll want to set another lap after this, I would expect. Airy Fasttail goes P2, 1.1 seconds off. He's going to get another lap in though. Interestingly, Lucas Hanek deciding that he didn't need to set another lap. He has stayed in the pit lane. Airy Fasttail not improving at the moment, but Elias Fernando is improving by 5/10 in fact. Just about to come around the final corner. Going to be 4/10 improvement I think across the line. Elias just not quite as committed through that final corner, but it is going to find him momentarily P2. Whether he'll stay there, we'll wait and see. Elias Fernando pulls over and returns to garage. Airy Fasttail improving by less than a tenth at the moment. Lost some time out of turn 11 there. Now down to the 12-13 complex. Almost a chicane, almost a hairpin. No one really knows.
Still a tenth
bit
up.
of everything.
Kieran Macy also currently 4 tenths up. Although he's going to lose time on the exit there. Ari Fastel 0.12 up. And that's going to be it, I think. Dipped wheels. Oh, no, finding time again here. It's going to be a 10th up. It's not going to be enough for P2, but it is going to solidify P3. Pulls over and returns to the pit lane, and Kieran Macy's gone off. I think that lap time got invalidated, so it's going to be P5 for Kieran Macy. And now we are going to jump to Kroipos, who has just managed to get himself ahead of the rest of the field by going ahead of Dan Berg. So now it's going to be on to the beautiful 992 Cup cars. Samuel Braxton is the first man to cross the line to start a lap here in the 992 Cup cars. It's going to be interesting to see how much of a change we have. Callum Jones already listed as a yellow flag. I think that's just him waiting for a gap. Indeed it was. Going to be interesting to see whether there's a bigger difference in the qualifying times and order here than there was in the GT4 machines. The GT4 machines stayed relatively similar to what they were last time. Not much change there at all. So it'll be interesting to see whether the GT3 992 Cup cars are the same. Here we go. Coming round the final 2 corners for Samuel Braxton. I genuinely can't remember what the pole time was. It was a 38.207, I think the pole time was last time out. Let's see what Samuel Braxton could do on his first lap. It's not going to be far off, you know. It's 38.8, 6 tenths off what the pole time was last time out. It'll be interesting to see how much time he can find on that. Brian Ritz goes P2 at the moment, 1.9 seconds off. Daniele Maffioletti goes P2 now with a 39.5, although Trevino's just gone ahead of him with a 39.4, and now Regatti goes to the top of the timetables with a 38.225. That's scary, because he's going to improve on that, which means I think we will see the first car into the 37s. Oh, did he do a 37.2 actually? It might have been a 37.2, because he definitely ran in the 37s in the race. So this could be very quick.
My entire ACC just
crashed.
Stopped working.
Hello. Kunos moment.
Yeah, it's just frozen.
Again, Kunos moment.
Oh, 100%. Oh, there we go. Shut it down. Please work.
So this is interesting. Gianluca Regatti, I think, got held up there on his second lap. So he's not improved, but Eric Berg has massively. Eric Berg goes P4, gets overtaken immediately by, again, Arcadio Trevino up to P2. Just 3 tenths off of Regatti now.
Another car improving massively is Callum Jones. In fact, this lap of improvement could find him onto P3. It will. Not quite P2, just 100th off of Arcadio Trevino. Daniele Maffioletti improving. Not massively, but improving. 0.3 of a second at the moment. Oh, here we go. Trevino is coming towards the line at speed. The number 28 car. 0.3 up, massive sliding moment. That's going to knock him down to just being a 10th up, but it will take him closer to Regatti. Not that that's massively going to matter, because Regatti himself is about to improve by about 0.3 of a second, if not more. But Trevino will not improve, actually. He got a lot of dirty air from the car in front of him. That's thrown him off. But Regatti is going to improve by 0.3 of a second into the 37s. It's going to be for him. Indeed it is, 37.9. So it's now the improvements at the back of the field. Callum Jones also stuck behind another car coming around the final corner. However, he's still going to find time. He's going to find time with that toe as well. It's going to be about 0.2 and a half, closer to 0.2 of a second. Goes 0.45 off of Regatti at the moment. Callum Jones up to P2. Daniele Maffioletti is finding time again, starting a new lap at the moment. And the top 6 drivers covered by a second, but then the rest of them are a further 1.3 seconds back from P6. So it'll be interesting to see, as I've just completely neglected the bottom half of the 992 Cup grid, but that's because what's happening at the front here is really, really interesting. Up by 0.6 at the moment is Ndika Andanegui. 0.7. How much more can he find? Samuel Braxton has had an off. That's going to be it for him. But Trevino is up by 2.5-ish tenths of a second. Daniele Maffioletti still improving as well. Slightly further up the track though. 1.6 tenths of improvement for him at the moment. It's going to be between these two guys for P3. Although actually Trevino may well get up to P2 if he can keep enough time out of this final 2 corners. I don't think he has. It's a 1.8 improvement. Oh, I'm trying to do maths and my brain doesn't want to. It does take him to P2 by about 25 hundredths of a second. Daniele Maffioletti didn't manage to improve in the end. He stays P4. And Andanegui is going to cross the line and gain a whole bundle of time, but absolutely no positions for it. And Stephen Faye's also about to cross the line, unfortunately not gaining anything for him. And that is qualifying over. Hayden Sweet having a better time of it this time than he did last. I'm sure he'll be happy that that his pace is a little bit more respective of where it normally is in this second quali session than it was in the first. Here we go onto the grid for a 3-minute countdown before we get moving. So I said, obviously I said that we weren't going to get a red flag in race 1, which we didn't. But that we might get a red flag in race 2. I hope we don't, but I think we might. We'll wait and see though. What do you think, Chaz? Do you think we're more likely to get a red flag in this second race, or do you think that I'm just making stuff up for content?
No, I expect a red flag, honestly. Knowing the red flag history here at Toga, it wouldn't surprise me. And you can quite clearly see that we do have quite a lot of red flags. But also, I think we're one of few communities out there that actually do run proper like red flags and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyways, we are now down to just a minute and a half left on minute and a half left on the countdown. Sometimes I do feel like this might be a little bit much, you know. Could we take it down a bit more? Possibly.
Okay, I'm back in, hopefully. Please work. I just want to watch some good racing here.
Here we go, 46 seconds, we're getting there.
Woohoo, let's go.
Seconds.
30 seconds. I'm going to win, says Hayden. Okay, sure. You guys sound chill. Yeah, I'm relatively chill, man. It helps that I'm tired because I've been at work.
10 seconds.
Oh,
Here we
you're
go.
Always chill.
10 seconds. Well, the sounds will come out when people start doing crazy things like they normally do. Don't worry, you will hear some trademark Ollie commentary noises, such as you know, all of those crowd favourites. Here we go for the formation lap. People pulling off very, very slowly. That's interesting. But we are getting going now. Here we go. We're getting ready. Mark Webber's scream. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the infamous brake magic moment at Baku. We're getting ready to go. Come on, round... Oh, I thought this was the final two corners. It's not even. Yeah, it's turn 10. Ah. Here we go, forming up 2 by 2, ready to go around the actual final two corners. After declaring that my internet provider doesn't want me to race. Oh, mate, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. Have you managed to get back into the lobby, Chaz?
Yeah, I'm in here.
Wonderful. So again, I'll
I
watch the
am
front where we expect
sitting
things to
down
be
with
less
Hack.
chaotic.
Oh, and Liverpool scored.
Oh, wonderful. 5-1
What else
moment.
will they
Bro,
do?
it's not been the second half for long.
No, I mean, they're just side questing now, really.
Here we go. Trevino looking to the inside of Regatti. Oh, Callum Jones gets involved. 3 wide, there's contact, and this...
Oh, that might actually be a red flag.
Whoa, more contact, more contact. What is going on? I think it's only actually really the one car involved of Eric Berg. I think everyone had to check up, but I don't think there was much. No, looks like we're going to get through. And Daniele Maffioletti finds himself P2. Samuel Braxton has been involved in an incident here.
More cars are off.
I don't know where. Samuel Braxton at the back. It's just the one car involved again. But there is definitely some chaos unfolding here, as Elias Fernando is leading the GT4 field ahead
Now,
of...
From what I can remember, the rules are that if... Is it 20% of the grid?
More than 20% of the grid, yeah.
Yeah, are involved in incidents. It doesn't necessarily mean that they need to be involved in one big incident, but if they are involved in incidents, I think that's the quoting of the rule. But obviously, the stewards here haven't decided to run a.
So
a
we
red
would have
flag
needed
today.
five. Jesus wept, man. We would have needed 5 cars to be actively involved in an incident.
I
or
don't think
multiple
it needs
incidents.
to be
No.
one incident.
No, not one
So
incident. That I
technically-
was saying it needed to be
Yeah.
5 cars actively involved in either one incident or multiple incidents,
Yeah,
which I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
think we quite had.
I think we had 4.
I think we had 3 or 4. Yeah. So unfortunately, just not quite enough cars. Does my disconnection count as an incident? Unfortunately, no. 992 car deciding that he didn't want to take the apex at turn 1. He was just going to continue to do whatever he liked instead. Callum Jones currently P3, just behind Daniele Maffioletti, which is going to bring a big response from some of our viewers in the Twitch chat who are here for the Daniele Maffioletti hype train, from what I can tell.
Oh, and it froze again.
Lol. Oh, Callum Jones has a massive moment. Coming out of turn 10, manages to keep it going in a straight-ish line. And gathers it back up before turn 11.
It's back. I no clue what's happening here. As Steven seems to have gone off. Let's see what happened with him.
Yes, George Stevens has gone off.
That seems like
he was
just
up
a
at
bit
turn
of
11.
oversteer.
Yeah. Samuel Braxton now back ahead of him. As Eri Fastel is now leading the GT4 field, ahead of both Lucas Hanak and Elias Fernando. So he's managed to get past both of those cars at some point in the interluding chaos.
What chaos? We haven't had any chaos.
No, it's been completely calm and normal. Any chance I can get in touch with you guys on Discord? Yes, absolutely.